Hello and welcome to Monkey's Paper Palooza Craft Corner. Today I am going to be doing a product review on the Tombow TwinTone Markers and how to color with them in card making, because they are a great journaling marker, but there are also other ways to use them. So today I will be using the two color tones that are out on the market fully right now. It's just the pastels and brights. And here's a little demo of their writing ability. They are used very much for calligraphy and writing and journaling, and you can also blend with them. So yes, because they are a water-based marker, just like with the Tombow dual brush, they can be blended. Though I will say, since they are a felt tip marker, they tend to eat up paper, so the thicker paper like either Bristol or watercolor paper does work better. So there are these two. There's pastels and there's brights. There is also a kit called Rainbow. This is what the pastels look like. As you see, they are very bright, kind of lightish tone colors, which really don't fall in the pastel in my eyes, but they are beautiful. And the brights are definitely that. They're bright and bold. So perfect name for that. Like I said, the Rainbow is out. They are hard to find. But today I'm going to be coloring the set from Hero Arts called Purr. And I'm going to be coloring my cute little kitties here and showing how, even with these fine little details, that these little marker pens work fantastic. And you can actually watercolor with them. So this is a way for you to use what you have to color in these. And I know sometimes with brush pens and other markers, it is hard to color in these fine little areas in these kittens and other fine details. So here I am. I've stamped out a couple images that I'm going to color in. And I'm going to say, because this brown is so juicy, I'm just going to be lightly adding it with the tip. One thing I will show you is the marker will be on the cap without the little pen tab. Like a writing pen, you have that little tab where you can attach it to something, like a pocket or a piece of paper or a binder. The marker side does not. It has a flat, almost marker lid, so it's a great way to differentiate which tip is which. Though I find coloring with both of those tips are advisable, especially if you have a finer tip. And as you see, I just went over that with some water, and I was able to color in that little cardboard box pretty easily. And now I'm using the fine tip. I'm just going to add a little bit of the red all over the little threads of this thing, and then color it in the rest of the way with water, and voila. Great way to use them for a watercoloring technique. You can also color with them directly also too. So depending on what you need, you can find a way to use them. I find the black also fills in any writing or lines that may not have stamped correctly either, because it's such a fine point tip that you can actually go over fine writing too. And see there, once again, blending in the color, and I'm just going to color in the little ears of the mouse with this little pink pen. Now, if you are a journaler and you do bullet journals or planners, these pens are fantastic. But if you do that and you also make cards, feel free to use it for both, because you know what? Supplies are supplies. And sometimes when you have a fine, detailed image, you need a finer point coloring utensil. And I find sometimes the Copics tips can be a little bit large. Same thing with even the Arteza markers, which I love for my watercoloring techniques and coloring, that sometimes they tend to be a little bit too big. And as you see, I'm just going in here. I retouched that yellow because I didn't feel like it went all the way in and bled out really well. Because you know what happens. Sometimes you get pens that pigments don't blend. And see, I'm going to darken his eyes and his whiskers with the pen. That way they pop more. But yes, these do work fantastic for coloring. But like I said, Copics, a lot of these, they do have such large tip to color with that sometimes you can't get the fine details. But isn't that cute? Simple little card with some cuteness to it. All right, so here's another one. And I'm doing these on Canson watercolor paper because, like I said, I felt when I used it on a thinner cardstock or paper that it tended to pill because they are a felt-based marker. So just a little warning, they do that. And this one I'm going to color directly. As you see, I'm not using water with this one. I'm just coloring directly. I'm taking the fine tip of this gray and just making thin lines around where there would be shading. So you can directly color with these also. You don't have to use water if you're not comfortable using water blending. You can even directly color with them. You have a fine tip and a marker tip, and they're both so small that they fit really nicely in any little crevice that you have. But isn't that pretty? All right, so what colors do I want to use for this bottom one? I am not sure yet. I think I'm going to end up, first let me color the kitty's ears and nose and tongue. Oops, see, like I told you, if you want the finer tip, you go for the pen tip, the pen cap. If you want the marker, you go for the other cap, which is more like a marker cap. So it's kind of cool. So I think I'm going to go for these two blues for the cushion because I'm going to show you blending with them. Now they do blend very well, just like the Tombow dual brush. They are the same formulation, so very similar ink. So you still get the beautiful blendability that you get with those. It's just finding the right colors that blend well together. And of course, if you swatch them, you can figure that out pretty easily. So if you think about it, there's 12 per pack. So you get 36 colors available right now because, like I said, I have the pastel and the brights, but there is a new kit that came out this, I think last month, that is the rainbow colors. So definitely you can get up to 36 colors in these. So really great little thing for fine coloring. And as you see, I just went back over with each marker and blended them into each other, and you get that cute little blend in there. Isn't that pretty? Direct coloring watercolor. So let's do some more, and I'm going to mix the watercoloring and the coloring together. So that way you can see how much fun you can have filling in your little images here. So I'm just shading in the shaded areas first for this cat. I was going through my collection trying to find the best one that had tiny images that I haven't used before because I wanted to show you how fantastic. Now, if you're a Unity stamper and you use Unity stamps, they have a lot of fine details in this. These markers would be fantastic for that because you have that fine detail. Like I said, it's good to have a marker for every type of coloring you could possibly need. Copics are great because they're alcohol based, but these are just as good as a water-based marker as the dual brush pens, as the Arteza. It's just a finer tip. And sometimes you need a finer tip depending on what you're coloring. Sometimes certain things work better. And as you see, I'm using water to blend that. So maybe I won't be mixed coloring. I thought I'd be mixing up the coloring, but this one's going to be basically all watercolor. Have fun with this. Now, I could go crazy and color this like a scribble. And just adding water to blend that all out. Great way to have some fun coloring with that. Now this one, I'm going to do it as a mixture. I'm going to color this kitty in watercolor first. And then we'll blend his meal dish. So I'm coloring in the shadowy parts first, coming in with my brush. Let's fill him in. Orange tabby here. But this is a great way if you have these markers to use them in a new, different way. Because there are so many ways to use your supplies and make the most of them. So, all right, you do journaling on the side, but you also make cards. Okay, what else can I use these markers for? Oh, for coloring in watercolor. It's making the most uses of your supplies because really, we invest a lot of money in our craft supplies and we might as well make the most of it. But as you see, I just mixed it. I did blending and watercolor in this card. So you can have fun and do multiple things. You can make your card stand out. I think he's adorable. And this is what I did earlier. So let's just say you goof up a little bit and your water goes out a little too far. You can go back with your tip and retouch it up. And that's nice. It's because you got fine enough tip that it's not going to overdo it. Just going to slightly shade it in. And I just fixed that mistake I made on this one that I did earlier. And I'm just going to blend that in so it looks like it's part of it. And voila, fixed. So you get that beautiful fine tip that helps touch up things. Now I picked, of course, some beautiful, fun pattern card forms for this, since we're going to have fun with some basic cards. So we're going to attach these panels to these card forms directly, and we're going to have some fun sentiments in them. But like I said, these were real simple cards. But here's where I'm going to show you what these beautiful fine tips will allow you to do. You can go over areas that you feel were a little too light in your stamping that maybe you didn't see before. Like I just noticed that one, it was very light. I just touched that up. Isn't that one cute? I love the cardboard box, how it came out. So we're going to add some adhesive here and attach this to the purple polka dot. So real easy stuff to do. So if you have some little simple cards you need to put out for people, sometimes you don't have to go crazy to make a beautiful card. Sometimes clean and simple work well too. And I've had more people actually really love my clean and simple versus some of my elaborate that I really thought were fantastic. So so far we're going to have 5 cards, I believe, that we did with this coloring technique. And our last one. And then we're going to have some fun embellishing these. I am going to embellish some of them, but I'm not going to use sequins or crazy things. I'm actually going to pull out some fun different types of embellishing. But first, let's add some sentiments to these cards. So I'm pulling out my We Are Memory Keepers Precision Press Advanced. And the reason I love this thing, the biggest reason, is I really enjoy that I can stamp sentiments in the card with this open-end design after I made the card. And you can do this also with the Tim Holtz. Though sometimes I find the hinge gets in the way a little bit, just depending on what your thickness of your card is. I mean, this card probably would be fine since there is no 3D padding or 3D mounting involved. So I'm going to stamp this little sentiment on there. I think I chose "You and me are perfect together," since I had the two little cats in the front. I love the little sentiments in this. So for this card, I'm going to use some glossy accents from Ranger. And I was going to fill my heart in, but I'm going to tell you one little tip here. Always use a scrap paper to thing, because sometimes you get a clog tip, and there goes my tip. I am going to make little bubbles around here, and I'm just going to place them randomly. And that's all I'm going to do. Alright, so let me get my little scrap paper out. This one I'm going to fill in the heart. But first, let's put our sentiment in. So for the sentiment, I am going to put "I meow you." Or maybe, oh no, I'm choosing "You're the cat's pajamas." I love the sentiments that come with this kit. They're hilarious. "You're the cat's pajamas." So for this one, like I said, I'm going to use the glossy accents to fill in my heart. I'm going to go in here and just lightly add some accents to it. That way the heart's kind of glossy. First one I did kind of abstract, kind of crazy, but now I'm going to do it more simple. Let that dry. Now for this one, I want to do it in the thought bubble with the glossy accents, but I am going to first add my sentiment, and I think this one I chose "I meow you." Here I am going to come in with my glossy accents and kind of fill in my little thought bubble. That way it looks like a thought bubble. What's nice is the glossy accents will dry completely clear, and that will be crystal clear. Alright, and for these other ones, I'm just going to put a sentiment inside. Because you know what? Sometimes the most simplest cards work the best. We're going to make some fun little cute cards for people. I love that these patterned cardstock are totally white inside. Makes it very easy for adding, let's say, a sentiment. Because some pattern papers you have patterns on both sides and it becomes distracting. These are perfect for making card forms. And they look so cute because you get that pattern on the outside and that fun stuff inside. So now I'm going to take my last card. I think for this one I chose "You're the cat's pajamas" again. Yes. So there we go. Isn't that cute? Very simple, clean cards with very fun, cute messages. And they're all colored with a very simple marker-like pen. And you can really do this technique with any water-based marker, though I do have to say sometimes the better markers have better pigments in them, so they spread better. So a great way to use what you may already have. But look at these adorable cards. Each of them have their own little flair with the use of these Tombow markers. And it makes a really little cute smart card that you can give to somebody and have fun with it. So thanks for watching. Make sure to check out the last uploaded video, as well as one specially curated just for you. And we'll welcome you to like, subscribe, and ring for notifications, as well as check out our website, as well as Facebook and Instagram. And be sure to check out our loyalty program.